Hi everybody. I've made this video to make sure that we've got good coverage of a couple of things that I want to go over with you this week. So those are, first of all, my tips for you for revising the sustainability research assignment. And secondly, I want to give you an orientation, an introduction to the sustainability proposal assignment, which is your next major assignment. But first, I just want to pause on something, and that is how we evaluated the sustainability research summary draft. It's marked out of 5, and most of you got 5 out of 5, but that does not mean that 5 out of 5 indicates that the draft is perfect. As you can see here on the rubric, 5 out of 5 means that you submitted a complete first draft, that it had 3 paragraphs, and many of you had more than that. We'll come back to that the topic was appropriate. There was some evidence of organization, some evidence of proofreading, and evidence of APA documentation. Now, some of you did get 0 on this draft, and that doesn't mean that what you did was worthless or that you did nothing. Look at the text here on the evaluation. What it means is possibly that the draft you submitted was incomplete, perhaps far too short, perhaps the topic was inappropriate in terms of what we instructed you to do, perhaps too little evidence of organization and proofreading, or perhaps no evidence of any APA-style documentation. So if you got 0 on the SRS draft, it means one of these things. And it basically means you've got an opportunity with some solid feedback to really improve things for the final draft. So my first tip for revising is to foreground sustainability. And what I mean by that is to make sure that all 3 of your paragraphs make it clear to your reader in what way, in what specific way, your topic addresses some aspect of sustainability in your program area or your chosen field. My second tip is follow the instructions. And by that I mean go back to the instructions for the assignment because they're very, very specific. So the instructions state, for instance, that the assignment is to be written in 3 paragraphs. That doesn't mean that you also include an introduction and a conclusion. So 3 paragraphs means 3 paragraphs. Each paragraph has a heading. And again, many people did not use headings in this assignment. So we've even told you what the headings should be. Paragraph 1 is past, paragraph 2 is present, paragraph 3 is future. Format, a space between each paragraph, but because you are putting a space between each paragraph, you don't also have to indent them. And make sure that you have a references list at the end of your 3 paragraphs. And by the way, it's called references. It's not called works cited. It's not called bibliography. It's not called resources. APA documentation format is very specific about these kinds of things. It's called references. Tip number 3 is make sure that you check how you have used your research sources. First thing I want to say about this is you need to make sure that you have cited all of the sources that you have used. Second thing, now last week in the course, in the module and in our drop-in tutorial, we talked about how we integrate quotations instead of simply plopping them into what we're writing. And we talked about using signal phrases to introduce a quotation and to integrate it in what you're doing. The other thing that we talked about was after you use a quotation, take a little time, a sentence, 1 sentence, and put the quotation in context. Don't assume that simply by using the quotation, it's self-evident to your reader why you have used the quotation, what it means. If you are using direct quotations, make sure that you are citing them properly, and that means 3 pieces of information: the author's last name, the year of publication, and the paragraph number or page number. If you are paraphrasing a research source rather than quoting from it, be careful about that. What I mean by that is that if you are taking someone's words and putting them into your own words, they really have to be in your own words. They can't be closely similar to what you have used. If you have trouble paraphrasing something because you keep finding that what you're doing is too close to the original, maybe that's the universe telling you that you should be quoting it instead. The last thing here about APA, about checking your use of sources, is make sure that everything that you are doing is APA format. That means your in-text citations are APA format and your references list. Tip number 4 is to edit for errors and to proofread. In my assessment of your draft, your rough draft, in the feedback, I have used a system of color coding to help you identify, in particular, errors in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. And by the way, I did not identify every single one. I basically highlighted some of them, and it's up to you to make sure that you find all of them. So there's that color coding system. What each color means is in your written feedback. And what you need to do to see the highlighting on your assignment is in Desire to Learn, go to Grades, open the feedback for that assignment, scroll down to the bottom of the page, click on the blue link at the bottom, and that will show you your text of your assignment with the colored highlighting. Now, let's talk about the sustainability proposal. I want to give you an orientation to it. The sustainability proposal is a nice carry forward from the sustainability research summary, because in the sustainability research summary, we had you choose a sustainability topic that is related to your program or your choice of career, and we had you analyze that sustainability problem. Now, in this assignment, what we're having you do is to focus once again on that problem and propose a solution to it. So that's why we're calling this a sustainability proposal. We're also wanting you to think about this as a scenario that you're writing it for a particular audience. And what we want you to do is to think about your audience for this assignment as a future employer or perhaps your program coordinator. The first draft, which is worth 5%, will be due the end of week 11. And of course, you'll get feedback on that. And then your final draft will be worth 15%, and that will be due the end of week 14. Of course, you'll be submitting both of those through the assignment Dropbox. Now, let's talk a little bit about the format for the sustainability proposal. You'll be writing it in 4 sections. The first section is what we call an executive summary. And any of you who have ever written a report are probably familiar with an executive summary. The best analogy I can give you for an executive summary is the abstract that you always find at the beginning of an academic journal article. It's one paragraph that summarizes your entire proposal. So it's your entire proposal condensed, so you're keeping the main ideas and not including the details. The tip that we've suggested to you on the assignment instructions is to write the executive summary after completing the rest of the proposal, because it's kind of a standalone piece. The second section of the assignment is what we're calling the problem section. And this is where you're going to identify the sustainability issue that is your topic and to explain why it's a problem. Here, what we're asking you to do is to quote or paraphrase from your sustainability research summary, particularly from the 2 paragraphs on the past and the present. The third section of the sustainability proposal is what we're calling solution. And in this part, you're going to present your proposed solution to the problem that you have outlined in the problem section. And what we're asking you to do here is to quote or paraphrase again from your SRS assignment, but now from the paragraph that was called Future. The last section of the sustainability proposal assignment is the conclusion, and this is a short paragraph that wraps up the proposal and also highlights the benefits of the idea that you are proposing. That's everything. Thanks very much.